So today we doing something new. Y'all gonna see the final result at the end. I had one of my followers tell me that they would like to hear story time, about kind of like how I started. Today we're just gonna start it off with how I got into MMA, what got me into MMA, and kind of like where it all started. First, we start off in sixth grade. This is when Ultimate Fighter first came across my path. Like I saw it on it was Spike TV at the time, and I immediately fell in love with it. People like Anderson Silva, Tito Ortiz, Kent Shamrock, a lot of the legends, Chuck Liddell, Anderson Silva, Forrest, like a lot of the OG MMA guys. I just completely got obsessed with watching them fight. Every day I'm watching Ultimate Fighter rerun, and then I'm just taking notes, taking mental notes. I even started taking notes on paper of, like, at the time I didn't have a coach, like I wasn't training. I was kind of writing down notes of the submissions they did, the way that they trained, how they fought, how they threw punches, their prep for fights and everything. Even though I wasn't training, um, and then me and my brother would kind of get in scraps. I would, throw up triangles and shit like that, not even knowing what the hell I was doing, just doing what I saw. Every time we used to have this thing when I was younger. My dad used to send us to the when we get in arguments, he would send us to the backyard and like, y'all settle it. So I was the big choker. Like I was a big submission guy. Like they didn't like going against me because I'm trying to choke you. Back to sixth grade. So in sixth grade, met this guy. Asked him what his name was. Basically the same as mine. It was Jacorian, just spelled a little different. And cliche enough, that made us become best friends. Then eventually, I went over his house one day and realized he was into the same thing as far as fighting and stuff like that. So I hope she don't watch this video, but it's too late now. But when his mom would go to work, we would turn her house into a freaking octagon. Like we a fight. We do grappling matches with each other into the floors, like drenched in sweat. Uh, like we would grapple, practice moves on each other. At the time, I was a little bit more advanced than him. Like I knew more submissions because I paid more attention to it. So I would tap him, and then eventually he got really hard at tapping. And we didn't tap each other, and then we would just roll for hours. And then, like an hour before his mom got off work, we would scramble everything together, clean up, fold clothes, do everything we can to make it look like nothing was going on. Needless to say, we never got caught. She never noticed we was in there grappling and fighting in her house.
I gotta do your roots next because your roots are like develop really quickly, and I don't want to. It'll bring your hair off the front.
You got some lip? You could like some lip chap or something? That's dry. All that. Trying to take you. This went on all the way up into senior to graduation, like till we graduated. We would do this every day, day in and day out. Still no training, no anything, just each other. Um, and then after graduation, I went to a junior college and was training basketball. Like I was playing college basketball, training, only basketball. That whole year, I didn't do anything as far as fight training or anything like that. So that was probably the only year since sixth grade I didn't do anything that revolved around like fighting. Don't get me wrong, during school I was playing football, basketball, and ran track a little. But outside of school and outside of practice, we would watch MMA, play MMA, train MMA, and then yeah. So it was either football, basketball training, and right when we're done with that, we're going straight to do MMA stuff. So back to graduation. Graduated, I went off to junior college, Paris Junior College, playing basketball, and Juice had went to UNT, University of North Texas, and then we went through that whole year. Summer came back around. We all came back home, and then when I got back home, I'm walking around every day with a basketball in my hand, working my dribbling, working my jumping, working my movement for basketball. And every day I would go to our other friend Chaz's house, and he would be holding mitts for Juice. Um, they would be training, practicing fighting, practicing fighting, practicing fighting, and that lasted for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks during the summer until eventually I'm like, let me get some. Let me hop in there. I couldn't resist, you know. Then I started get hit and miss and training and doing that. Then it was like eventually it came to a point. He was like, bro, you should, because they were roommates at the time in Denton, which is where North Texas is. Juice told me, he was like, man, you should come up here and move in with us. We can be roommates and we can train. Because what I had found out when we met back up in the summer is that he had found a gym down there, George Pavelski's Muay Thai Boxing, which he is still at currently. Um, he found a gym there. He was like, you should come down here and train. Like, I found a gym. I was telling them about you. They'll love it. How you should come up here. You know what I'm saying? I know you always want to fight. You should come. So me, I was stuck with a decision that summer. Do I want to give up on basketball, put the basketball down and go right into what I've been training, been wanting to do, fell in love with it at a young age? What do I want to do? I thought about it for about 3 days, 4 days. And then eventually I was like, yeah, bro, I'm putting in my head, I told myself, I'm putting the basketball down and I'm gonna move up there with y'all and we're gonna train MMA. And we're gonna be the greatest. We're gonna reach the UFC. We're gonna, achieve our goals, become the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Still the goal to this day. Let's get that straight. We're going to be the best and it will happen. And then I put the basketball down and never picked it up again. Like, I never trained basketball and I put all my focus into MMA. That summer moved to Denton. We roomed together, side hustling, but everything revolved around MMA, traveling 45 minutes to an hour to the gym every day, training for about 3 hours a day, going to Smokers. So my first day down there, let me backtrack. My first day down there, first day of training. So sparring is on Saturday for those guys. I went in on a Saturday. I met Xavier, still my boy to this day. And Saturday is a sparring day. So my first day at an actual MMA gym was a sparring day. So knowing me, I hop in dudes in the ring sparring. I'm like, hey, I don't care. I'm hopping here and spar. We can get rounds. So we going light. They probably remember this story more vivid than I do because, when you in the ring and you sparring, the adrenaline will make you forget certain details. So I'm in the ring. This guy, like, I forgot his name. I don't remember his name. I don't want to say a wrong name. Met a lot of guys at George's. So we get in the ring. We're going. It's my first day. He starts throwing really hard at me. At least I thought. And they could tell you different. I don't know how they saw, but I thought he was swinging hard at me because I guess I wasn't used to sparring. Like, I have fought in the streets and stuff before, but I wasn't used to sparring. I'm thinking, like, this is real. Like, that he's swinging. I'm feeling the wind out the punch. I'm like, oh, you trying to take me out? I was like, and I asked him, I said, oh, so we fighting? We're fighting? Which it didn't even make fucking sense. Of course we're fighting. But in my head, I was saying, oh, we're hitting hard. Like, we're going hard. And then I just, like, we both just turned up and I got his, I taxed his ass. I ain't gonna lie, I taxed him, but he wasn't like a really good guy, but I put it on him. And then I get out the ring, right? Confidence high. They laughing at me because I'm like, we fighting. And they like, bro, you funny as shit. I get out the ring. My next opponent I'm going against turns out to be the coach, my boy, Cuba. Cuba, that's still my boy to this day. Cuba, man. So love to my boy Cuba, but he was my next round, bro. Let's keep this straight. He was my next round and my last round. There was no more rounds after Cuba. So Cuba, he's a little shorter than me, strong as an ox, the strongest God grip I have ever felt to this day. Still, super strong. At the time, he was currently fighting. Now he's full-time coaching. At the time, he was fighting towards the back end of his career, but he was like a dog. Like, he had that, foam coming out of his mouth type of mentality. Like, so I'm going with him. I still got my adrenaline going from my last round. I throw a hard punch at him. He like, okay, his exact words. He did a slip rocked my shit to the body, took all the air out of my ass. And the rest of that round, you see me running across the whole mat. 2.5 more minutes of running. You're not catching me, brother. You're not hitting me with nothing like that again, brother. I promise you. Wounded animal, and I'm acting like one. We're running. You say flight or fight, I chose flight. I'm gone. My ribs feels cracked. I can barely breathe. And you just hit me with something I ain't never felt before. And come to find out, he was a coach. After that, everything just went great. After that day, going home, recover my rib, still going to training every day. Still going to train every day. Became part of the family over there. They're still my family to this day. My brother's over there. They actually got fights coming up next week. So a week from Saturday. So January, what is it? 24th. January 24th, they're fighting in Frisco, Texas at the Co-America Center for peak fighting. So, I'm rooting for those guys. No, they're going to get the dub. We train hard. So, yeah. So every day I'm over there training. So my skill just start to get better and better. I'm doing everything from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to kickboxing. It was well known that I wanted to be an MMA fighter. And the coach, my coach still, my striking coach, George told me, hey, you need to focus on getting one art figured out before you try to merge all. It'll create confusion and bad habits. So, typically I went straight to boxing. I was doing boxing and jiu-jitsu at the same time until I became really, really good at boxing. And then I kept doing boxing. Then I just added in Muay Thai. And then some things happened with me personally. I moved back home. And immediately I'm not going to stop training because that happened. I'm going straight to look for a gym. I had already went to a gym before with my current coach, the general, Craig Campbell. The first time there, that's a story for next time. Just know that my first time ever going there, he fucked me up. So I went back there, and then that is when my grappling hit an entirely new level. His wrestling coaching took me to a whole nother level. His concept of the game took me to a whole nother level. And just the attention that he was able to put on just me and another fighter there, it took me and then it took the fight team to another. His attention towards both of us took us to another level. And that is also getting bleach everywhere. But that is also, let me get my own. That is also when I got booked to my first fight. And I actually had my first MMA fight with Craig Campbell. My whole MMA career has been with Craig Campbell. He got me my first fight. Not all my training was from him, but my whole MMA career, he's been right there beside me. So we started 6th grade, and we're here now through an amateur career, going into our 5th pro fight, January 31st in Hot Springs against Sam Wallace. I appreciate all the support, and don't forget to like and subscribe on this video. And if you have any more ideas or things you would like me to talk about, feel free to leave it in the comments, and we'll keep these story times coming. I told y'all about my journey getting into MMA. I like to think of this new look as symbolizing my future in the sport. Get to the UFC, become a UFC champion, become known as one of the best in the world. So this new look, it symbolizes me. It symbolizes the golden child. Yeah, you can expect to see me like this every fight from here on out. This is the new look golden child. See y'all January 31st.